Hello, how is it going? In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about how to use VS Code. What is VS Code? VS Code is a lightweight but powerful source code editor which runs on a desktop. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. By default, VS Code comes with built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, and Node.js. It also has a rich ecosystem for extensions for other languages such as Python, C++, C#, Java, PHP, and Go. Before we look at how to use VS Code, if you don't have it installed, you can download it from this link. I'll put it in the description below. To download VS Code, just click on the drop-down menu here. For Mac OS, download this one. For Windows, download this one, and if you're on Linux, download this one. Once the download is complete, just unzip the zipped file. To install it on Mac, just drag and drop it in your applications. And if you're on Windows, just double click and follow the guide on how to install it. After installing it, just open it and it will open the welcome screen. Right here at the top, it will show you a few things that you can do. To start, you can either create a new file, or you can open a project, or you can run a command. And at the bottom, it will show you all your recent projects, something that you opened recently. Let's now look at the interface of VS Code. So I'm going to go ahead and open the last project I was working on. So I have my project now open in VS Code, and the first thing that you want to do is to look at the menu. So at the menu you see there's file, which you can use for saving or changing to save. And you also have edit. Here you have edit options such as cut, copy, paste, find, replace. You also have the selection menu that you can use for other functions. You also have the view option. You have the run option that you can use to run your program, and if you want to open the terminal, you can simply go to terminal and new terminal. This will open a new terminal, and you can also access your help here. On the left side, you have the file explorer here that you can use to see your files. You have the search. If I click on the file explorer, you see that it will hide the files, or if I click on it, it will show the files. So it will toggle between showing your files and hiding them. You also have the search bar that you can use to search through your files. And you also have the extension menu. This is very important. The first thing that you might want to do is to add files to your program. To add a new file, just go to this menu here. So here you have the name of the folder in which you are. To create a new folder, just click on this. This will create a new folder. For example, let me call this folder CPP for my CPP for my C++ files. So I have a C++ file here. To move it to CPP, I can simply drag and drop in here. So this will move my file into the CPP. Here to ask me if I want to move, so I'll just say yes. So you can see that now it's in my CPP file. And if I want to create a new file in CPP, you have to click the folder and click new file. So I can say world.cpp. So this will create a file under the CPP folder. If you want to create a file outside this folder, you can click outside the folder and it will create a file here. So for example, here, let me say world.py for a Python file. So you see that it's outside this folder. So I can collapse this folder if I want, or I can open. Up here on top, it shows which files I have open here in my editor. As you can remember, VS Code just comes with built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, and Node.js. To add support for other languages, you need to go to extensions. The first thing that we're going to do is to install the most important extensions that we need for any project that we are working on, whether it's on Python, web development, or C++, C# or anything. These extensions, we're going to need them for any project that we're working on. So the first thing that we want to install is material icon theme. So to install material icon theme, just search here material icon theme. So it's here. So you see that it has around 8.3 million downloads. Myself, I already have it installed, so you see it only gives me an option whether to disable or uninstall it. If you scroll a little bit down, you see what it offers. So it gives you material icons such as this. So if I go to the file explorer, you see that all my files have an icon. For C++, it has a C++ icon. For Python, it has the Python icon. For HTML, it has that icon. And for JavaScript, it has the JS icon. So if you don't have material icon theme installed, all you see are just files that don't have icons. So material icon theme will help you to identify the type of file that you are working on easily. The second extension that you want to install is Indent Rainbow. So it's this one here, and just install. For me, I already have it installed, therefore it shows an install. So what does Indent Rainbow do? It actually highlights. It gives a different color depending on the level of indentation that you have in your code. So for example, if I open this C++ file, you see that one level of indentation has a different color, and if you come to this second level of indentation has also a different color. So you see it works also in Python, and also in JavaScript. You see that each level of indentation has a different color. This is very important to identify how deep you are in the indentation. The last extension you want to install is bracket pair. So it's this one here, bracket pair Colorizer 2. You need the second version. So just click install, and this will highlight the brackets. So for example, if I come here, if I click on this bracket, it will show me where the closing bracket is. It's down here. This is very important because sometimes it can be very confusing on where you have the closing bracket. So these three are the most important general extensions that you need. Now let's look at how to add support for other languages apart from JavaScript. The first thing that we're going to look at is how to add support for Python. Then we'll look at how to add support for C++. And finally, we're going to look at how to add support for HTML, or web development in short. I'll add the table of contents in the description, so if you're more interested in C++ or web development, you can simply skip to that chapter. But you might want to watch the entire video so that you know all the tools that you have available in case you want to work on a different language. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add support for Python, and to do that, just go to extensions, and here just type Python. So you have this Python. This is provided by Microsoft, so this is the one that you want to install. So just hit install, and it will install the support for Python. One thing that you need to remember is that vscode is a code editor. By adding the Python extension, you don't actually install the Python interpreter on your laptop. What you add is support such as autocomplete. For example, you can see that it's autocompleting here for me. So after installing Python support extension, you need to tell vscode which Python interpreter you are using. And to do that, you simply go here at the bottom and you select the interpreter that you are using. If you don't have any Python interpreter installed, you can either download it from the Python homepage, or you can install Anaconda if you're working on data science or artificial intelligence. So on instructions on how to install Anaconda, I have a video. I'll put the link in the description. You can watch that to add Anaconda to your laptop. And once added, you can tell VS Code which interpreter to use by clicking here at the bottom on Python and you select the interpreter that you are using. So to run your Python program, you can simply open the terminal, or you can just hit the play button here and this will run your program. So if I hit this, it will run my program, as you can see here. So next, let's look at how to add C++ support if you're working on C++. For C++ support, just type C++ in the extensions and install this extension. It's also provided by Microsoft, so just hit install. This will install support for C++. Similar to Python, it's important to remember that VS Code is just a code editor and C++ itself is a compiled language. So you need a way to compile C++ files so that you can run them. This C++ extension does not include the compiler. It only installs support for your files so that it can recognize the C++ files. It can show you some syntax highlights and autocomplete features and other features. For the compiler, you have to install it on yourself. I don't have any video on how to install the C++ compiler, but if you need help on that, you can put the comments and I can respond to the comments, or I can create a video for you to guide you on how to install the C++ compiler on your machine. Finally, we want to add support for web development, and the first thing that we want to do is to add support for HTML and CSS. So first go to extensions. And search for HTML CSS support, and you have that extension. So just click install. Here I already have it installed, therefore I don't need to do anything. After installing that extension, now VS Code will support your HTML and CSS. So after installing VS Code, the thing that you need is to have a way to run your programs quickly. So for that, we install the extension called Livesaver. And just click here and install that extension. So once you've installed Livesaver, you can just right click on your file and select Open Livesaver. Livesaver will open your HTML file in your default browser. Here it's opened it in Safari. Now if you make any changes to the HTML, it will automatically reflect in your browser without need for you to refresh the browser. For example, let me change this face to first name. And now if I go to the browser, even without refreshing the browser, you see that it has updated what I entered here. So that's the advantage of having the Livesaver. It will automatically refresh your page in the browser and you can see the up-to-date website as you are building it. The next extension you want to install is Prettier. So this extension just install. I already have it installed, so I don't need to do anything. And what does that extension do? For example, if I come here, let me mess up the format of this file a little bit here. So I've messed up the indentation here, so the file doesn't look as nice as it was before. So now if I hit save, you see that it automatically format my file. So this is what Prettier does, and you need it so that you can write clean and beautiful code. The next extension you want to install is Auto Close Tag. So it's this extension here, just install it, and this is what it does. So for example, if here I create a new tag, say P, you see that it automatically close it for me. It reduces the number of key presses that I have to do. So that's the advantage of having auto close tag. This will save you a lot of time and it will make your development much faster. And the next extension you want to install is Auto Rename Tag. So this extension will allow you to rename tags automatically. For example, here if I want to rename the P tag to div, if I do this, you see that it has renamed even the closing tag to div. So this is very advantageous. It saves you a lot of time. This is very advantageous and it saves you a lot of time. And another extension that you want to install for HTML is called CSS Pick. So it's this extension here. Just hit install, and once installed, you can see what it does. So for example, if I want to know what kind of CSS is being applied to the form here using the ID reg form, I can easily hold on command and hover on this tag, and it will show me the CSS here. So this is very nice. You don't really need to go to the CSS file to see what is being applied to your tags. You can easily see it through the CSS Pick. This is another handy and very important extension to install. And finally, if you work with ES7 syntax, React, Redux, you just want to install ES7, React, Redux, and React Native snippets. So it's this extension here. That's the final extension that we need to install for HTML, which makes our development much faster. I'm going to put the names and the links to all the extensions that I mentioned here. So if you forget any name, you can easily look at the description to find the extensions. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you'd like to support me, just like the video and subscribe to this channel.